Hi there, thanks for checking out my channel. This is Street Life. My name is Mike Berman and I'm an award-winning photographer in Appleton, Wisconsin, and this is actually my first video for the channel. And so I thought it only appropriate that we answer the question, why street photography? Why do it? What are advantages of doing it? Why do I like it? Now I'm going to give you my 6 reasons why I really like street photography. They may be reasons that you agree with or don't agree with. You may already be a street shooter or you're considering it, but these are the reasons why I like shooting the streets and why I find it rewarding, I guess. Challenging at the same time, but rewarding. And I think the first reason is the amount of creative expression available. The subject matter is endless. There are constant projects you could be doing. There's, your environment is changing, not just weekly or monthly, but really daily. I mean, depending on how much sun is out or what the weather is like or how many people are around. I just find that it's never boring because there's always something around to shoot, depending on your personality or the subject matter you like to shoot. So, there's always projects to do. There's always subject matter that street photographers sort of gravitate to that maybe other street photographers don't gravitate to. I know for me, like the objects and the subject matter that I like, umbrellas, mannequins, doors, windows, reflections, things like that, and you can have folders on within folders of your street photography, where I place these different sort of projects or different subject matter that I enjoy doing, and you can walk the streets at noon and then at night it becomes a completely different environment, and there's things there that you didn't see during the day and vice versa, and I just think the ability to express yourself, create the creative aspect of street photography is pretty much endless, and that's really neat because it's almost like a treasure hunt. You go down there, you're not sure what you're going to find. You can shoot for an hour and a half, 2 hours, come back with nothing. You go back a different time, you spend 45 minutes and you get 2 really good shots. You just don't know. So, and because, things change rapidly, because environments change rapidly, the idea of street photography as a historical document, I think, is another reason to do it. That'd sort of be my second reason, that you're documenting the history of your city or your neighborhood or wherever you're going. If you look at the pictures from the 50s and 60s, the cars, the fashion, even if you look at like the signs in the stores and the kind of font they were using and things like that, I mean, that is all very particular to that era, that decade or whatever. And so you may not think you're creating historical documents, but you are, and that's really cool. So that would be my second reason, that you're also documenting history in a way. My third reason is that you can, I don't want to say unlike nature photography. My third reason would be the old adage lives up tremendously. Bad weather makes for good photos. So when it's raining out, when it's snowing out, those are times that I love to go down. It makes it more challenging. It can make it more difficult, but those are opportunities to make photos more interesting. And some of my best selling photos, some of my best work, the stuff that gets the most attention, comments, compliments when I do art shows and show and sell my street work, are photographs I took in winter, during active winter, snowstorm, and I head downtown, and you can get some really neat stuff. I love umbrellas, so when it's raining out, I like that. So any weather, it can be sunny, it can be hot, it can be cold, it can be snowy, whatever it is, that's an opportunity to do good street photography. So any weather. The fourth reason I like doing it is that I have a degree in photojournalism, And I started as a photojournalist in a dark room, developing a lot of black and white film and making prints. And doing street photography sort of allows me to use some of my photojournalism training. It's not that I go out necessarily to tell a story with every picture that I take, but I can kind of use some of that training to tell a story with a photo, or to use the composition skills that I learned in college when I was a photojournalism major. And so I like it for that. It also allows me to do some black and white work, which I don't get to do during the week for my other job. And that leads me into number 5. My normal job during the week, I call my normal job, the job where I sort of make most of my money and is my career, is as a real estate photographer. And street photography is almost the complete opposite of that. As a real estate photographer, I am on a tripod, I'm shooting multiple exposures, there's a lot of editing, I'm using flash, everything is very controlled, and I like that. I love my career as a real estate photographer. I do get to use some creative expression, but not a ton. Depends on the house that I'm shooting. If it's a character house, there's more opportunity to be creative and things like that, and work with lighting and kind of slow down. But street photography is almost the opposite of that. Street photography is, single exposure. There's a moment that lasts maybe a second or two, and then it's gone. And then, you're trying to quickly capture that. I don't really heavily edit a lot of my photos like I would for real estate. And so I really like the fact that, I have my real estate over here, and then I have my sort of hobby, my street side over here. And they really kind of, I don't want to say they butt heads, but they pull in opposite directions most of the time. And that's kind of cool. I like that. So, and my last reason, and these aren't necessarily in order, it's not, this is my last reason or whatever, but my 6th reason is that you don't need a lot of fancy equipment. Now, I have some pretty nice Fuji equipment, camera bodies that I use when I'm out on the streets, but you don't need it. I mean, there's people out there on Instagram, I know, they're just using their cell phone, or just using like a very entry-level Sony or Fuji or Canon, Nikon, whatever, even Micro Four Thirds, entry-level camera with just like a 50mm prime lens or whatever. You don't need a lot of fancy equipment. You don't need like really fast lenses like you would for portrait work. Now, that being said, if I'm doing, if I'm downtown during night and I'm doing street stuff, then I want some primes that are a little bit faster. But I don't need big zooms that are 2.8 consistent and all that stuff. The equipment you need is very, very minimal, and so there's just so much upside with street photography that I find it just very challenging, because anybody can do it, but doing it well is a completely different story. But it's challenging, but when you get you get that killer shot. You maybe get one shot a month, one shot every 2 or 3 months. That's it. You get that just amazing shot. It's worth it, and it's a lot of fun. And this channel is meant to explore a lot of different areas of street photography. And so I'm hoping you'll join me for the ride. I'm hoping you'll hit that subscribe button down there. Check out my website. I'll leave a link for that, for a book that's about collecting garbage. There's a project, a blog that used to run, I don't know if it is anymore, about collecting garbage. It's called Sad Stuff on the Street. It's very interesting. This is a project, again, that someone had, is just photographing garbage. And so I'll leave a link for this book so you can kind of see, what's capable or what's possible out there on the streets. But hopefully you'll join me for this journey. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that hit that subscribe button, and I hope to talk to you soon. So we'll look at some books, we'll look at some gear, we'll talk about some challenges, some advantages, some disadvantages, kind of the whole world of street stuff. But until I talk to you later with another video, hope you have a great day. Keep shooting. Bye-bye.